Okay, so you got the audio.
Got the audio, got the video, doing great, man.
Oh my God. Well, I got this much figured out. It's always like a big drum roll prior to these Zooms, depending on what computer I have or what device I have. So apparently we're on a roll.
We are, man. I appreciate the time, Vin. Want to get into the show and look backwards and forwards with you a little bit.
Cool.
But dude, I think we got to start with celebrating the 30th anniversary of the second Sponge album, Wax Ecstatic, and kind of wanted to dig into that a little bit with you.
Yeah, 30 years on that one. Good Lord. For a second, I thought you were going to say Riding Pinata, and I'm going to go, what year is it?
No, man. I'll give you my backstory as far as hearing the title track for the first time. My first job in radio, working at a radio station in L.A. that was going up against the big world famous one without DJs, but playing Wax Ecstatic and Have You Seen Mary at that time when that came out. My first radio job. So it's 30 years in radio for me, 30 years for your second album. And I'm kind of curious, man. Was there a lot of pressure from the label coming in after the success of Rotting Pinata? Were they kind of on you, or did they kind of just leave you to let you do your own thing?
Oddly enough, they let us do our own thing. We're working with an A&R guy, Pablo Matheson, at the time, but uh, Pablo certainly had his input and a lot of faith in the band to do our thing, and there was no heavy pressure. It was a cool environment to make a record, and nobody was telling us we had to put 10 new versions of a song that sounded like Plowed on the second record. So that was cool.
And I had read that initially it was supposed to be a concept record.
Yeah, we were steering that way for a hot second, but it just didn't appear like we had the real solid material to support the idea. So, and at the end of the day, the songs win. So, if you got some weaker songs that seem to support some kind of concept record, and you have some other songs that don't support the concept but are better songs, you're gonna go with the better songs, or at least that's how we thought we would go with the better songs.
Was there any carryover, any leftovers from Rotting Pinata, or all brand new material?
No, nothing left over, and a lot of folks, even looking back at the first album, they're like, you got your whole life to make the first record, and which is just bullshit with us. It was not like that in the least. And of course, there was nothing left over from that first album. I mean, we put a record together here last year. It's like the Lost Tracks record. So anything that was left over from the Roddy Pinata record, fast forward 31 years, made it to that record. So we did release some stuff that was unreleased from the first album, but we certainly didn't consider it for the second album. It finally made it on a record called The Electric Cattle Gods, released just last year.
In talking about Wax Ecstatic, also a different vibe to the album, a lot different instrumentation, piano, horn, strings. Was that all conscious or just kind of way the material shaped?
Just again, like what seemed to support the music. And people say, well, your second record, you got to have horns on it or some bullshit like that. But, we were just like, we were writing these songs that seemed to have some kind of need for, say, saxophone or uh, some beautiful cello or some other accompanying instruments, piano, whatever. But, stuff that never made it on the first record. But I go, yeah, that's just where we were at that time. And I was talking to the great producer slash artist Shooter Jennings some time ago, and he said to me that that was kind of like the first um, goth country record he's ever heard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. So I was like, yeah, I will take that compliment. A goth country record. It does
Yeah.
come up like that,
Inventing a new format.
right?
Tying into the concept that had to do with the drag queen tunes, right? That's where the concept kind of lied.
Yeah, perhaps with like something like the Drag Queens of Memphis and just the instrumentation, perhaps on Have You Seen Mary? those things probably were steering things towards the country world a bit.
I think my favorite tune off the album, and curious to get some insight on, I Am Anastasia.
Sure.
What was that one about? So you're being the voice of someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, and once again, it's like these songs, these riffs, that particular guitar riff was something that we really wanted to, I guess, cultivate more. It was, a great riff that the fellas came up with. And some of these lyrics um, were based on the, I got to refresh my memory, the Romanovs, I think it was. Um, that family. So yes, in a nutshell, a the words of a young woman that could speak through me.
Hmm. I always love you. You know, on the first one, on the second one, you always have these women titled songs like I Am Anastasia. On the first one, Nina Menashe, two of my
Yeah,
favorites.
yeah, yeah. I mean, don't ask me how they get in there, man. It's just that they find their way in the music. And what writer would tell you there was never a woman that was a muse, or and a painter that would tell you they didn't need a muse to be creative. So these names and these women and these ideas, like have you seen Mary was like literally a young woman that I knew. I just changed the name.
Hmm.
That's all. I changed the name uh, in the song. It seemed a little bit more poetic, and certainly it was about her life.
I'm curious, man. Are you kind of leaning into the 30th anniversary of this album, or just playing the normal set when we got you coming to our neck of the woods? Going to be at Stage Red in Fontana on Saturday, April 11th. I'll be hosting the show, but curious set wise, are you leaning into the 30th anniversary? You going to play some different cuts, or just kind of the normal set list?
Well, fortunately, we are playing stuff from that Wax Ecstatic record. We got Wax Ecstatic on the set list. Got to Be a Bore is on the set list. Have You Seen Mary is on the set list. Silence is Your Drug is always like an auxiliary song on the set list. We've played My Purities, hundreds of times over the last couple of years. So we certainly can pepper the set a little bit more with stuff from the second record. But again, we're definitely digging into that record to make that show work.
Looking forward to it, man. I'll be the guy screaming Nina Menashe the whole time in the crowd. But
So you will be at the show hosting the show.
yes, sir.
I'm impressed because you have no idea how rare that is anymore. It's like radio, the rock clubs, supporting what's going on at the clubs is very rare anymore. And thank you.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure. Big fan. And the venue that you're going to be playing is probably one of the nicest clubs you've ever played in. It's a brand new theater, year or two old. But interestingly enough, you'll notice when you walk in, bunch of Sammy Hagar photos because it's owned by Sammy Hagar. It's the town that he grew up in, Fontana.
So Fontana, help me out a little bit. It's like an hour and a half, like east of LA.
Not even that far, about an hour east of LA.
No shit. So the club is like pretty brand new, huh?
Yeah, it was a community theater that they've kind of built into a rock club.
Interesting. I love it.
You're gonna love it, man. It's beautiful. And curious, over the years, have you had any run-ins with Sammy Hagar? Ever shared the stage with him? Ever talked to him?
You know what? That's like the bucket list stuff, really. I mean, I would love to talk to Sammy. I've really enjoyed hearing his interviews regarding the Van Halen days, and Montrose was always just such a great band, and Sammy's voice is just. I think Sammy's voice is just like it's synonymous with what people love about rock and roll, and thank God he's still doing it. The
Yeah.
Sammy's always seemed to have a pretty good head on his shoulders. Not to mention, with that tequila he had, I heard he sold it, man. So I hope
Yeah.
he made a lot of money from that.
I heard he made like $1 billion from selling it to
He deserves it.
give him the money to open up a nice rock club in his hometown. So it
Yeah,
all works out.
yeah, man.
Do you have a favorite Sammy song just to put a button on it, man? Thinking of all the tunes, whether it be VH or Montrose or solo?
Uh, there was a heavy metal song, and then
Yeah.
uh, um,
55.
What's up? Damn it.
Almost there.
It's on the tip of my tongue right now. It's I think Denny Carmassi was playing drums. Uh, Ah man, I can't. It's skip. I'm brain farting right now, but I'm just thinking about the drum beat and everything, man. So I apologize for that.
You think drum beat? I would think Rock Candy when you think of him and a drum beat.
Down, 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 down. Probably Denny Carmassi again, but yeah, I mean that's a great one, man. But I was thinking, driving fast in my car. What's that? What's that tune? What's the other? Just huge Montrose tune.
Um, Base Station number 5.
No, no, no. I'm not thinking of that one, man. I'm tearing my brain out right now, but oh well, we'll figure it out.
Dude, I appreciate all the time. Last couple of things I wanted to hit you with. The Lucid.
Yes.
Loved the Sweet Tooth version. You and David Ellefson in that band doing your take on Epic, and it's been a few years now since that one came out. Is there more meat on that bone, or is that kind of all dried up?
You know, the guys are always talking about putting the new music out and doing that thing, and it's just so hard with everybody's schedule. It's really hard, man. You know, it's like everybody's out working, gigging. So to get the guys together to record, let alone trying to get everybody together, even to do a show, it's really hard, man. You know, at some point I'd love to do some more songs, but doing a record might be a little difficult.
And there's never been a show, has there? Has there been the Lucid playing a live show? No live show yet.
No, no, no. We really tried to, but then some health issues came up with one of the guys, and we had the dates booked. It just would not. It didn't come together.
Ah, bummer. Well, fingers crossed that there's some more coming from that one. And speaking of covers, the other one I wanted to touch on the 1994 record.
Yes.
I was shocked to see it as I was going through the track listing and listened to it. Can't Speak. The Danzig cover.
Well, so we love the song. I think it turned out so good, man. But here's the deal: Glenn Danzig does not allow other bands to cover his music. And you would go, well, I can go to Harry Fox and get a license to cover the song. Really, there's nothing anybody can do about it. But I think our label wanted to keep the peace with Glenn Danzig, and we did release another CD that didn't include. So there was like another pressing, if you will, of the CD that did not include "Can't Speak," which is a drag because it is my favorite song on the record.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like sometimes it would be listed and then sometimes it wouldn't be listed. But I'm shocked that song was even on your radar, that you even knew that song.
I remember that song when it hit MTV. It was one of those, like, really important videos at the time, and I just thought it was a killer tune. Just killer. Very, very moody. Very, very cool.
Yeah, the whole instrument, like backward instrument going through it.
I lost it, man.
All good, all good. I won't keep it too much longer, Vin. Last thing I wanted to hit you with, we are an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m. And talking about being the 30th anniversary of Wax Ecstatic, it's the 35th anniversary of their self-titled, quote-unquote, Black Album, which sold 20 million records.
Wow. 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 I mean, those guys, I love the story of their career. I love their career. I love what they continue to do. I love the fact that they're pressing shit tons of vinyl now, I heard. So, hats off to those guys.
And they're going to be the first hard rock band, metal band in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
When is that?
This coming October. There's, I think, October 1st and 3rd or whatever is the first date. They're doing like weekends. They're doing Thursday, Saturday, no repeat weekend, completely different sets each night.
Wow. Well, we saw them in Detroit. They were doing, was it 2 shows in Detroit? You had to buy tickets for both shows. So, we split it up between, kids and friends and stuff like that. I did see the night where Pantera was with them. So I was pretty pumped up about that. But Yeah, man, the spear thing with Metallica. That's like a must see, huh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just saw the Wizard of Oz in there, and I could just can't even begin to imagine what Metallica is going to do in there.
You lived through the tornado scene and the Wizard of Oz and the
Yeah,
spear. Good for you. That freaked
all
me
the
out, man.
dropping apples and everything. Although I wasn't in the right section for that, but
Running through the poppy fields.
yeah,
What were they talking about in that scene? They all went to sleep. Right. Okay, cool.
yeah, exactly. Well, dude, just to put a button on it, do you have a favorite Metallica song? Is there one that comes to mind that we can play for you on Mandatory Metallica? For whom the bell tolls.
For whom the bell tolls. Yeah, that's the one.
I got you with that one. I couldn't help on the Sammy one, but I knew that one right away.
Yeah, yeah. Right on.
Beautiful, man. Can't wait for the show in Fontana. I'll see you there and hopefully get to say hi.
You got it, Mike. Yep, you got it. Love to see you there. Thank you.
See you then, Vin. Bye bye.
Take it easy. Thank you.